Hello, everyone. This is Joan, and I'm still covering the book of Esther. And I'm still asking you if you have any questions or concerns or comments, please put them in the comment section because I really am anxious to see what anybody else thinks about this because I've thought about the book of Esther for a while and it's always been a puzzle to me. The major part of the puzzle for me was, well, wait a minute, God is a loving God. Why was Vashti treated this way? I know she wasn't an Israelite, but uh, women, regardless of what nation they belong to, have the same body parts. And I think that we have the right to protect them or decide when we want to show them. So, is this, I think, again, well, I probably haven't said it here, but I've said before that just because something's in the Bible is not telling you it's correct. It's telling you it happened the same way a newspaper used to, or newspaper or articles do. So I think that's what happened with Vashti or Vashti. Remember, she was King Ahasuerus' wife, the queen, and because she didn't want to come out naked with her crown on, she was banished. Now, fortunately, she wasn't killed, but still, she had no say in the matter. And again, that leads to the question of, well, would a loving God do that? And I think not. But let's continue on to Esther chapter 3. These things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, and advanced him, and set his throne above all the princes that were with him. And all the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai bowed down not, nor did he reverence. Okay, before we go any further, let's look up who were the Agagites. Okay, this is Copilot, and I asked who were the biblical Agagites. The term Agagite is primarily associated with Haman, a central antagonist in the book of Esther. The Agagites trace their lineage to Agag, a title used by the kings of the Amalekites, an ancient nomadic tribe. The Amalekites were long-standing enemies of the Israelites, and this enmity is rooted in early encounters during the Exodus. In the book of Esther, Haman is described as an Agagite, linking him directly to the historical legacy of enmity between his lineage and the Jewish people. This connection serves to heighten the narrative tension and underscores the adversarial relationship that plays out within the story. Haman's rise to power and his plot to annihilate the Jews within the Persian Empire is seen as continuation of this ancient hostility. The term Agagite thus becomes synonymous with the broader conflict between the Israelites and the Amalekites. Okay, so and they're getting their information from BibleHub.com and DivineNarratives.org. So I asked, were the Amalekites descendants of Esau's son Amalek? Yes, the Amalekites were indeed the descendants of Esau's son Amalek. According to the Hebrew Bible, Amalek was the son of Eliphaz, Esau's son, and his concubine Timnah. Now, I think I've mentioned Timnah before. I think she was a cave dweller or something like that. This lineage connects the Amalekites directly to the Edomite family line, emphasizing their role as long-standing adversaries of the Israelites. The Amalekites are often depicted as a nomadic tribe inhabiting regions south of Canaan and near the Negev desert. Their identity as descendants of Esau highlights the historical and spiritual conflict between the Israelites and the Amalekites. 3. Then the king's servants which were in the king's gate said unto Mordecai, Why transgressest thou the king's commandment? Now it came to pass, when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai's matters would stand, for he had told them that he was a Jew. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai. In the first month, that is, the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast that is, the lot, before Haman from day to day, and from month to month, to the 12th month, that is, the month Adar. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, There is a certain people scattered abroad, and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people, neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business, to bring it into the king's treasuries. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it to Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, the Jews' enemy. And the king said unto Haman, The silver is given to thee, the people also, to do with them as it seemeth good to thee. Then were the king's scribes called on the 13th day of the first month, and there was given according to all that Haman had commanded unto the king's lieutenants, and to the governors that were over every province, and to the rulers of every people of every province, according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, in the name of King Ahasuerus was it written, and sealed with the king's rule. And the letters were sent by post into all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, and to take the spoil of them for a prey. The copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people, that they should be ready against that day. The post went out, being hastened by the king's commandment, and the decree was given in Shushan the palace. And the king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city Shushan was perplexed. Now, this is a pretty short chapter, but very important things are happening, and that a whole nation of people dispersed among the Persians is being threatened. Now, I always had the question if and I've already asked it before, but if Esther was passing, then did the Persians and the Israelites look alike? Now I know the Israelites, we believe, or at least the Savior actually said, and he was from the tribe of Judah, that um well, John, when he was looking at him, said that he had feet the color of burnished brass, so sounds like he's kind of dark skinned, and hair like lamb's wool. So I think that it said that he was not given a particular or peculiar beauty that people would look at. So I guess you could kind of figure everybody kind of looked like him. So does that mean that Queen Esther looked like him? Now the Savior was from the tribe of Judah. She was from the tribe of Benjamin, but still, um, you would think that they were all 12 brothers, that it makes no record of them looking different. So what did the Persians look like? The depiction of the ancient Israelites I found on Pinterest, and you will notice the characteristic hair. Short cropped curly hair and beards. So, let's see, according to what I could find online, let's see if we can find what the Persians looked like. I typed in depictions of ancient Persians. This is what I got. And um, they do have, they also have curly hair, but there are other depictions, and I know that these may or may not be accurate because generally, if you look up something, up until recently, it was almost assumed that everybody in the Bible was of European looking. But generally, they look similar, but they don't quite look like Israelites. So I've always wondered, for how did she pass as a Benjamite for a Persian? And like I said, they do have curly hair, but it seems to not be quite as curly as African Americans. Um, yeah, like I said, the thing is, you can question the accuracy of the coloring because here they're definitely showing you that they look a little whiter than the ancient Israelites, and their hair is longer. So, I, my mother used to tell me about her grandmother would or could pass for white, and when people would come and call her white, she would be quick to correct them and say, "No, I'm black." And I used to think to myself, if you look that much like you're white, no, I think you're probably white. You're whiter than you're black. And I think that the saying, now I don't know, but I've always wondered, well, then how did she pass? Um, People don't have to pass for what they are. They just that's just what they are. So, in any case, that's just something that I've never heard anybody think about. And also, the thing about the Benjamites, I think that they might not have been able to wipe out everybody from their territory too during the conquest of Canaan. Let me look that up also. I went back to Copilot and I asked did the Benjamite remove all the people that they had been commanded to removed during the conquest of Canaan. And it said the Benjamites, like many other Israelite tribes, faced challenges in fully conquering and possessing the land allotted to them during the conquest of Canaan. According to the Bible, to the book of Judges, the Benjamites did not completely drive out the Jebusites living in Jerusalem. Judges 1:21 states, the Benjamites, however, did not drive out the Jebusites living in Jerusalem. So to this day, the Jebusites live there with the Benjamites. This incomplete conquest is significant because it highlights the difficulties the Israelites faced in fully obeying the Most High's commandments to drive out the inhabitants of the land. The presence of the Jebusites and other Canaanite populations often led the Israelites into idolatry and away from the worship of the Most High. Asked Copilot, well then, who did the ancient Persians descend from? Which of Noah's three sons? And the answer they gave is the ancient Persians were an Indo-Iranian people who migrated to the Iranian plateau during the end of the second millennium BC. They created one of the largest and most powerful empires in the ancient world, known as the Achaemenid Empire, which flourished from 550 BC to 330 BC. The Persians were known for their impressive architecture, such as the city of Persepolis, and their contributions to art, culture, and governance. As to their lineage, the Persians are traditionally considered to be descendants of Noah's son Shem. According to biblical genealogies, Shem's descendants include the Edomites, who are often associated with the ancient Persians. Okay, remember I was telling you before in another video about the Jeshurites that King David married into, and they were also people who were descendants of the people that the Most High had ordered the Israelites to remove from the land that they didn't. And even as with King David, they married into them. So Mordecai and Esther saying that they were Benjamites could mean that they just came from that territory and that they had some Israelite ancestry. It sounds to me for her to be able to pass for a Persian, to me it sounds as if she was probably, both of them were possibly or probably mixed. Okay, so now that we kind of have an idea of what the ancient Israelites look like and what the ancient Persians look like, let's look at verse. Well, actually, let's look at the very first verse. After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, and advanced him, and set his seat above all the princes that were with him. Now remember, the Agagites are descendants or something or other of the Amalekites, and the Amalekites and the Israelites don't get along, even though they're both descendants of Shem and more recently of, is it Isaac? Isaac? And wait a minute, let me check that. Shem, and then through Esau. Yeah, that's it. So they are related, but they don't like each other all that much. And, I read that and you might already know it anyway. So the question is, why did King Ahasuerus promote Haman above everybody, including Mordecai, who has saved his life? And also, when you read 4, why did Mordecai have to tell them what race he was? If the religion of the Israelites, the ancient Israelites, said, hey, marry among each other, don't marry out. As I said yesterday, generally two dark-skinned people or two brown-skinned people are going to produce a child that looks like them. You're not going to look at that child and think, is child Asian? No, you're going to look at the child, look at the parents, and see that they fit. So why did he have to tell them he was a Jew when it seems like Persians they looked, from what I could see, they looked kind of more like a mixed race. Like you might have three races going on here as we perceive race right now. You have a possibly pale Agagite, and you have a mixed Persian who's the king. He's promoting this Edomite above everybody else, even though Mordecai saved his life. Um, I don't know. I'm just trying to get a picture of not exactly what these people look like, but what they may have looked like, because I do think it actually does matter. And if it didn't matter, why would people not let you know up until now that the ancient people, um, not all of them, of course, but the ancient Israelites were a dark-skinned people? If it didn't matter, it wouldn't have been any reason for it to be really not spoken of or even suggested in general until the past 6 months or so. People who were paying attention already knew that, but still, it wasn't just put into your face until, like I said, the last 6 months to a year. Okay, so Haman did not bow to, what is his name? No, I'm sorry. Mordecai refused to bow to Haman, probably because of of what had gone on between the two groups before. But it seems as if Mordecai knew what race or ethnic group or whatever you want to call it that Haman was in, whereas Haman had to be told who Mordecai was. So I'm just trying to paint a picture that there was some mixing going on. And I think that in a way it kind of illustrates that if if the world carried on the way it did now, but some records were lost or destroyed, people would look at old what we're looking at now. And they would think that the average black man was black, but the average black woman was white or non-black or mixed. So I think that the Bible is illustrating or telling you that you think things are new, but they aren't. So I think this is where we can end it for right now. I wanted to give some background. I mean, and the fact that once Haman found out, yeah, probably he was annoyed because Mordecai wouldn't bow to him. But he understood the reason why Mordecai wouldn't bow to him. And it was kind of like, you don't like me, I don't like you either. So that's where I think well, you know what happened. Mordecai, well, no, Haman decided, okay, we're going to just commit a removal of all these Israelites. And so he posted it everywhere. He wanted everybody to know, hey, get rid of them. And again, Ahasuerus doesn't seem like the strongest king. This guy just walks up and says, you know, these people are doing you wrong. They are not good for you. You need to wipe them out. It doesn't tell you here that he questioned anybody else about it, that he investigated. He just said, all right, cool with me. And I don't know. Like I said, to me, the whole story of Esther is strange. But let me know what you think because you've been awfully quiet. But I would appreciate, anything you have to say because I actually came on from the beginning. I came on YouTube because I was reading the Bible and I was seeing things very differently than the way I had been taught. And I wanted to know, hey, is it just me? Does anybody else possibly see this? So, anything you want to say about this, I would really love to hear it. So, you guys have a great rest of your day.